I personally don't like applying it right there. I don't think that does anything. And plus I feel like I have quite like big cheeks and I don't want to really enhance that. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to my YouTube channel, which is all about makeup and everything beauty. And today it's all about blush. I wanted to dedicate an entire video just purely on blush because I feel like it's not done enough. I feel like there are so many tutorials out there, including my own, where we just go through this whole look and then we very quickly skim through the blush part. So I just wanted to dedicate this to all of you guys out there who struggle with blush or are just a little bit confused as to like the placement of blush, you know, what kind of color to go for, especially if you have skin like me. Like maybe you've got textured skin like me and you want to kind of have that nice rosy glow, but you don't want it to look, you don't want it to look in your face, but at the same time, you don't want it to enhance all those kind of like flaws and bumpy skin that you might have. Trust me, I struggle from that myself. So before we head into this video, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit that bell button so that you never miss a video. You can also catch me on Instagram, where you can follow me for daily beauty news and PR unboxing, which you'll find on my stories. Now let's jump straight into the video. So I have everything on my face other than my blush, and I'm going to be honest, I never really used to like wearing blush, and I think the reason for that was because I just used to see blush placement in just obvious area, like really too colorful. And I feel like my makeup is very neutral in the sense that I like more earthy tones, and as soon as you add some color, I'm like, whoa, that's like a bit too much for me. So I never really found the kind of blush shade that I liked, and any blush shades that I did like were so close to being a bronzer that I might as well just stick to the bronzer. So I finally found the shade for me, and it's not just about having a specific brand, it is about the kind of color that you feel suits you. And I feel like pinks don't really suit me. It just pink blush. The odd time I use a pink blush, it's like a full-on hot pink and it's very subtle. So it just gives you that really nice kind of pop of color without it being too in your face. And I'm very strategic with how I place that kind of color. Now, my average day-to-day blush is a peach blush. I love peach blush. Like I went from, honestly, from one end to the other. One minute I'm like hating blush, next minute I'm loving it. So I love peach blush, and I have a few different peach shades that I use. One of my go-tos is the MAC blush in Peaches, or Peach. I can't actually see the back of this. Oh, it's Peaches, yeah, it's Peaches. So I really like this blush. I just feel like it's a really nice peach shade without it being too orangey. Now, when it comes to applying it, there's a couple of different brushes that you can use. I kind of like alternate, I think. It really depends what I feel like, because they both do a really good job. I personally really like using a stipple brush because I feel like a stipple brush kind of disperses the color, kind of like all over, like it just kind of like gives you a really nice kind of airbrush finish. And this brush is the MAC, I think it's 188, but I'll have to check that. I'll have to check that. What is wrong with the way I'm speaking today? I'll have to check that and put it up on the screen. So there's that. Another brush that I use is the Odist 011. I'm not too sure if this brand is available anywhere other than the UAE, but you know, I always put the links in the description below, so you'll find out. So I'll use the stipple brush today because I feel like that's a brush that most people will have and is more like readily available, like a MAC brush. I really like the size of this brush because I feel like it's just the right size for blush. I don't like a really, like you can go with full on big, like that's too big for that. That's more for a powder, like a loose powder. So I'd stick to something which is a medium size. Even if you go for a brush which isn't stipple and is more of a like conventional style dome brush, I would suggest going with a medium size because big is just gonna disperse the color all over way too much, and you can't get that like really strategic placement. So I would stick to something like this. Now what I do is I swirl it into the blush like that. Now, I know some people may think, you know what, this is such a, why are you even doing a tutorial on this, how to apply blush, like most people know. Most people don't know. And I feel like some people just think they know, think they're doing it in the right place, and they never know why they don't look like however they want to look. So I feel like it's really important to just show you the basics sometimes. So I'm gonna just get a tissue for this. Usually I use the back of my hand, but I just want to show you. Now, if I went straight in to my face, there's gonna be way too much color, right? So I'm gonna just take off the excess. So you can't really see too much of it there, but it would look a bit much on the skin. So I'm gonna go in with this brush and just apply this on my cheeks. Now, there are a couple of different places that you can apply it. I'm gonna show you where I like to apply it, and also where this is the kind of placement I feel gives you more of that kind of youthful, lifted appearance as well. So sometimes it depends on the kind of look that I'm doing. Sometimes I would apply it just on this bit here. I would never apply it directly here, because that doesn't do anything other than just leave a blob of color. It doesn't do anything. Like, you want whatever you're applying, you want it to be able to look good, but at the same time, kind of like maybe lift the area, or maybe define the area a little bit, and just kind of mold in with your face. So I personally don't like applying it right there. I don't think that does anything. And plus I feel like I have quite like big cheeks and I don't want to really enhance that. So my placement is literally just above where I apply bronzer. So you can see here, this is where I've applied my bronzer here, right? So you can see I've got a tiny bit of highlight there. Now, don't worry about the highlight. Don't worry about where you apply it. I just want to show you that this is where I would apply my bronzer, which is starting from the top of the ear, and it kind of comes in slowly, which kind of comes in between the nose and the lips, but it kind of stops there. It doesn't go too far in, right? Now what I do is I go just above that. So it's kind of like at the, how can I put it, the peak of, not so much the peak of the cheekbone, but a little bit lower. So it's above the bronzer. So it's kind of like up this area here. It's in between my bronzer and my highlight. So I'm going to apply this just here. As you can see, I'm kind of like, you can kind of like go back and forth, or you can press it. Sometimes I press it, sometimes I go back and forth, but I want to show you both ways. I'm hoping you guys can kind of see this through the camera, because I think I might go a little bit extra just so that you guys can see it. Now, you can see already that there is some color there, but it's like a little bit faded. We want to go a little bit heavier with it so you guys can see it. There, you can already see I've got some really nice color there. Now, even though I've applied it up here, I have brought it in just a little bit. I don't want to go too far in, because this whole center section, I don't want there to be anything kind of like obvious going on. So I'm just keeping it around this area here. Now, I know you've seen some people who kind of, it's more editorial where they apply it like up into this area here. You can. Sometimes I like to do that, but it really depends on the kind of look that I'm going for. So you can kind of like take this a bit higher if you want to, but it does also depend on the shape of your face. Now, I personally really like that. I feel like that's added some really nice color, and I just look a bit more kind of like awake. So I'm going to do this on the other side so you guys can see again. So remember, I'm going above the bronzed area. And I feel like this is way more flattering than kind of going right in the middle. So that is where I apply my blush. And that is how you can apply it as well, which is super, super easy. I really wanted to make this really easy for you. And I know sometimes when I'm applying blush in other videos where it's a full-on tutorial, it's easy to kind of like skip through the little bits like blush, because maybe I speed it up a bit or I'm not really focusing on that section. So I really wanted to just do a video where it's just on blush, nothing else, because some people don't wear bronzer, some people don't wear highlight, some people don't wear that much makeup, but you do want to wear some blush. So I just wanted to show you how you should apply it, the correct way of applying it. So now that I've applied it there, that's done. And sometimes I will go over with a little bit of highlight, which I think I'll do now just so that you guys can see, because sometimes the blush can kind of get rid of that highlight, but I don't always apply a lot of highlight. So I would probably suggest you apply your highlight afterwards, because it kind of almost, yeah, I think that's good. So you can see how that kind of breaks it up a little bit. And again, not everyone uses bronzer, so you might not even use bronzer and just have your blush, which is fine. Now, another thing you can do is you can go kind of over the nose. I've seen a lot of people doing this lately, and I think it kind of suits, it depends on your skin tone and the kind of finish of your foundation as well. Like, I go for more of a matte finish, so it doesn't necessarily look that great on me. Whereas if you're not wearing a lot of foundation and you can really see your skin more and you've got great skin, you are perfect, because that, if you dust it over the center of the nose and maybe you've got some like freckles or anything like that, like, it looks amazing. I personally love it, but you can go across the nose a little bit, and it looks much better if you have less, like, it's not so much of a matte finish. If it's more of a dewy finish, then I think that looks better. So I've just applied a little bit, but it doesn't really look that great on me. So yeah, that's one of the blushes that I use. Now, I just want to go through a couple of other blushes that I personally really love, and I think you're gonna actually like as well, because there are a few different kind of peachy shades, which are kind of like, some of them are kind of hovering into the pink spectrum a little bit, and they're not too pink though. So one of them is the Nars Liquid Blush in Lustre. This is the most amazing peach shade. It is so nice. It's just, how can I put it? Maybe I'll do a video on cream liquid blush for you as well, so that you can see how to apply that, like just a video purely on liquid blush. This is like a really nice pale peach. So the Nars Lustre Liquid Blush is amazing. Another peach blush which I love is the Stiller Putty Blush Bronzer Duo, and it's such a nice color, and it's like this kind of like bouncy, it's not like powder, it's like a, I don't know what it is, it's like, it's bouncy. That's all it is, it's bouncy. And another good blush is the Laura Mercier Peach Blush. That's like that, that's really, really good as well. And that has a really subtle sheen in there. So that's like, has a slight sheen in there. And then another blush that I'm really loving, which I think is a bit more, actually no, oh yeah, that's why I love it, because of the color. It's like this, it's in between a pale peach and a pale pink. It's so nice. It's the Rare Beauty blush in Bliss, and it's just really nice. I love it. So that's a really good one as well. So that's a liquid blush, but maybe I'll go through some liquid blushes with you. Now, there's two other shades that I really do like. They're not peach, but I really do love them. Considering I said I don't usually like pink, these are the only pink shades that I really love. One of them is the Dior Rosy Glow blush. Look how pink that is. That is super, it's like almost like a purpley pink. I love that. And it genuinely does give you that really nice rosy glow. And the other kind of pinkish shade is Nars Orgasm. I don't use this that often, but because it has like a slight sheen in there, and I don't really like too much glitter or sheen going on in my blush. But yeah, I just wanted to show you the blushes that I keep in my little personal stash where I get ready here, so that you know what I use. Now, I hope that this video has kind of like answered all these questions that you have about blush. And honestly, there's not much going on with blush. I just wanted to show you how to apply it, so that I really focused on blush, because I know, like I said in most of my videos, I kind of like rush through the blush part because there's not much I can say about it, but I just wanted to dedicate a video purely to blush for those of you out there who kind of really do struggle with blush application. And I totally get it, because when I never used to like wearing blush, I think a big part of it was not knowing how it would suit me on my skin and not really being that experimental with it. And I think I've had time to be a bit more experimental with it and see how, like, what color suits me and what placement suits me, and I really just wanted to share that with you guys. So this is my usual kind of like blush look. So there you go. That's how I like to apply blush. And I really hope this video has made that part of your makeup routine really easy on you. If you've never kind of ventured into blush, or maybe you just were unsure about the placement, the color, how it looks on you, I hope this has made it so much simpler for you. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And if you hit that bell button, you'll never miss a video. Until the next video, take care, and I'll see you soon.